Hey, do you think ancestral healing is important? If yes, please share why. Me, I think this is a lot of crap, but I might be very wrong. I'll look at it this way. Look at a lot of beings coming here on Earth. Some of them come for the very first time. They've never been here before. They've never incarnated here before. This is their very first time. Others, well, they might come on their own free will. Some might get forced to come in. Others get deceived. But for people who have never been here on Earth, maybe even in the Milky Way, to be forced to come on Earth and having to clear someone else's dump, why would you have to do that? Our whole life, yeah, we're listening that Earth is a school. We're here to learn about ourselves. We're here to evolve. So why do you need to clean up someone else's mess? Look at the pandemic. Look at wars. Look at all of these things happening on Earth. Let's say some psychopath, a guy, or a girl, or whoever you want to call him, her, they, them, whatever, all of these crazy things, used up a bunch of drugs, got a lot of alcohol, just had a pretty bad life. Disappointed, maybe cheated on, maybe did some bad things, got a few crimes, and then goes on a rampage, takes a gun, and starts massively shooting everyone. Now ends up in prison, maybe after 50 years gets out, gets sex, or, rapes someone, and now that girl had a baby, and you were that baby. Why would you have to clean up your name and reputation and ancestral trauma that guy, he never gave a damn? He really didn't care about himself, or life got pretty hard and he just decided to be a snowflake. He couldn't handle it. He cannot talk to anyone. He doesn't feel like he can talk to someone. No one understands him and stuff, but it is his issues, not yours. So for him, for drinking and using drugs and all of the other things, and never going to have a therapist to talk to, and just taking a gun and killing a bunch of people, why would you have to clean up someone else's karma? Why would you have to clean up someone else's mess? It's not on you, especially if you're the first time here, especially if you were forced to incarnate here on Earth. You didn't decide that, oh, I'm gonna come to Earth and I'm gonna clean someone else's mess. They lived in real mess. They've been suffering. So I'm just gonna come up and suffer as well, and then be tortured and, feel all this trauma and then everything else, and I'll clear it up. That'll be nice. People don't do that. I mean, you have to be a complete altruist and a bit nuts as well. But then again, let's look at this. Yeah, DNA, everything else, lineage. There are things like habits. There are things like something that has been built in for a physical body. But you are not the physical body. Let's make that clear. You simply choose, or have to, in a way-ish, but not really, identify as something that you've been shoved off. Okay, look, so we have different histories. People have been born in Africa. They've been, spreading out through all the world. Now they, settle down in Europe or America or somewhere else. And now we have, okay, so you have been Black. You've been a slave. You've been forced to do a lot of stuff. You've been suffering. A lot of people misjudged you. A lot of people mistreated you and a lot of your lineage. But here you come and now you have to clear up their name. No, you don't have to. You're a white guy. Your ancestors have been in the World War I, World War II, and they've been engaged in some of these things. Yeah, cool, all right. You don't have to clear up their stuff. They were forced to go to war. They were forced to kill, forced to survive. So fighting someone else's war, not theirs. Okay? So you have to clean up that. Cool. All right. So we have a lot of these boxes of identification that makes us call ourselves okay, now consciousness that is limitless, it can be anything and everything all at once, has to put itself into a cage, physical body, into a vessel, let's say. But now we have to be forced to identify as a girl or a guy. And then, well, okay, so I'm a white. I'm Black, I'm, Asian, I'm Korean, all of these things. Okay, cool. I have blue eyes. I have green eyes. I have brown eyes. Awesome. A lot of these boxes of identification. But then we're going, well, I'm a farmer. Oh, well, I'm a rapper. I'm a this, I'm a that. All of these boxes of things that we should fit in and be and identify as. But this is what physical body is forced to identify as, to experience this world and to explain its experience to someone else who lives here as well. And then at the same time, you're being misunderstood. No one really gets you. As a consciousness, you're everything. You're limitless. You can be like a point of awareness and experience everything. You can be in my body and someone else's body. You've been on Earth. You've been like in plenty of other experiences, like, okay, like starseeds. So like Lyrans and Pleiadians and Taygetans and Trucians and like Procyons and Reptilians and Dracos and Mantis, like, and we just named thousands of these ET races. It's not like you live once. It's not like, okay, your consciousness, you've had only 1 or 2 incarnations. Let's look into your past life and that's it. No, it doesn't go like that. Consciousness lives forever. You can experience like millions and quadrillions points of views and like, again, have different bodies, have different identifications, but you just choose to play the game. So a lot of these people in the New Age movement talking about, okay, you come here, let's clean the astral case. Something that the physical bloodline has led to and made you to identify as. Like some of the things, sure, but it's physical, it's habits. If, let's say, you know, a lot of people in your lineage have been drinking and have like alcohol issues and that has affected your physical body, sure, then you're going to be suffering. But it's not like you can clear it, like, oh, I'm not going to drink this time and everything's going to be fine. You choose to not drink. That's not going to change anything, except like, you know, you have organs that are not doing so well and you're just going to like, okay, survive. But it's not like you're going to clear everything. Doesn't matter. Consciousness. If you would look at, okay, well, if you look at the perspective of having another aspect or your past lives, simply shifting your consciousness or getting out of body and tuning into another part of you that lives somewhere else, that part doesn't give a damn about the past. That part is so engaged in the current experience, being here and now. It's engaged in the story, in the event, in what's happening currently. It does not need to know the past because why? Why? Yeah, if they want to, if that part wants to, it just tunes into the knowingness and that's it. But it's like, if you choose to play a video game or watch a movie or experience something in life and it's going to be first time, enjoy it. You don't need to remember all the traumas. It's like you're entering a new relationship and you have experienced a lot of stuff before. Maybe you've been abandoned, maybe you've been cheated on, you've had domestic abuse, you've had like domestic violence, like all of these things happening in the background that has built up your case. But then you enter a new relationship and there's that fear in the background. But in order to have the best relationship possible, we have to be able to let go of the trauma. Not like forget, like, oh, it never happened. No, it's like, don't bring up that stuff right away. Like, hey, that person might not be like everyone else you've met. That person might be completely different, might be loving, might be caring, might be giving you everything you ever needed. But you have to be able to drop your own case and be open to try something new. And so like all of these parts of, if you're watching a new movie and you're like, okay, well, this is Terminator. Why would you be thinking about Titanic or some horror movie or something else? No, you're just watching the current movie. You want to experience something new. You're going to go watch Interstellar or Oppenheimer. Why would you think about some, you know, I don't know, like Lion King? Awesome. Like it has nothing in common. So when you're experiencing a new life and when you come here on Earth, whether it's your first time here, whether you chose to came here on your own free will or you were forced, for a consciousness, there is no need to clean someone else's crap. It's their responsibility. But then again, depends how you look at it. Because consciousness is everything and nothing all at once. Meaning, my point of view, I am you, I'm everyone else, you are me. Like, if you just zoom out, you can play life from this aspect of your own body. Simply your point of awareness from the vessel that you're in right now, that you choose to look from. But then if you try, like, what if I just try to see life from my dog's perspective? And for a moment, you get the image of what it's like to see the room from your cat's perspective, from your parrot's perspective. Oh, you get the image. So you're able to do that. You're able to shift consciousness and become something else. What if you viewed life or the room from the perspective of a pumpkin or a candle or something that's in your room? So you're standing here looking at a screen, but you think of an item in your room and try to see the imagery from that perspective. You're able to do that. So consciousness can be everything. It depends from where you choose to look from, what you choose to experience, and then like possibilities are endless. So I think that this whole stuff with clearing the ancestral traumas, like healing all of that, there is no need. Or at least we have to be very, very specific and choosing to like, okay, well, it's not just this life. And let's not focus on physical people here on Earth. Let's not focus on humanity. Focus on yourself. If you want to clear ancestral like case, all of the things that has happened before, look at what are your triggers specifically. Maybe you have issues with relationship with one specific person, but then you're looking at not your lineage here on Earth, but your experiences in the past lives, everything you have been. And specifically, let's say, oh, well, me and this guy, we have a difficulty communicating. Okay, so it is specifically you and this guy in every possible lifetime having a difficulty communicating. Let's look at that. Not your lineage, not something else, your past lives. And like, let's get very specific. Because like, oh, my past lives where I have a difficulty communicating. Well, it's almost everywhere. But specifically with that guy. Or maybe past lives where you have a hard time talking and expressing how you feel. There's going to be a whole lot. But let's go specifically at the important times when you want to share the truth and you have a hard time talking and you feel this thing in your throat. That's very specific. So looking at those and clearing that kind of trauma, clearing the decisions, maybe something that you've been impacted by, like, you know, your past lives where you've been killed in certain events or experienced like a massive loss and it was just traumatizing. Yeah, clearing that is important. But lineage and someone else's crap, someone else that you've never known and never met, yeah, why would you need that? Let's say 7 generations before you, some guy did a bunch of stuff. 5 generations before you, some woman did black magic and everything else, cursed everyone, and people are just like targeting her and cursing her back, and now you're affected by black magic. You don't need to clear that stuff. You're affected by it, sure. But you don't need to clear someone else's case. Clear yourself. Because you have never known that person, you've never met him in your entire existence, or maybe, a big maybe. Maybe you've met that person. Sure. But for a lot of people, someone that you know very close here on Earth, you have a relationship with, you might have met him in a past life. But 7 generations before you? Not really. Anyway, that's my rant. I might be completely wrong, but this is my perspective. But hey, please share your point of view about, you know, ancestral healing if you think it's important. And, you know, I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.